Hi there, welcome. In this module, we shall be discussing accounting and financial management foundations. Are you a freelancer? Are you an MSME owner or a gig worker? And you want to understand what financial management and accounting is all about? Then this is for you. At the end of this module, you must have gotten a deep understanding of accounting and financial management at the very basics. Then you should also have an understanding of the foundation of bookkeeping. Why? Because bookkeeping is important in accounting and by extension, financial management. Now, at the end of this session as well, being an introductory session, you should also have the knowledge of the importance of bookkeeping. Why do you need to keep proper books of accounts? These are some of the questions that will be answered in this module. But before we continue, it's important to make sense of numbers in terms of statistics. Recent statistics show that businesses are increasingly hiring freelancers, with 66% of hiring managers planning to hire more freelancers even in the next 2 years, which then means that freelancing has come to stay. Now, gig worker contributes over $5.4 trillion in revenue and made up to 12% of the world labor market, according to statistics by Upwork. What is this telling us? This is also driving home the fact that freelancing is an important part of the labor market. Now, the market value also ranges from about $455 billion to $646 billion in terms of the value that this set of people contributes to the economy. Also, there is an annual growth rate between 16 to 17%, which is outpacing many traditional industries. Many traditional industries like the usual 9-to-5 job. Having understood this, we then ask ourselves, who are gig workers or who is a freelancer? It's important to also make sense of that. So they are just individuals who earn income outside the traditional employer-employee relationship, right? Outside the traditional 9-to-5. These are people who work per task, per project, or on short-term assignment basis. Imagine a graphics designer who has been called to design a website. That is a good example of a freelancer. Imagine a tutor as well, who have also been hired to take certain relevant courses, perhaps that cannot be taught within the 4 walls of the university. Those are freelancer or gig workers. And of course, finance professionals as well also feature in this market because they may have to work per task, perhaps just employed to just maybe prepare financial statements, maybe even audit the financial statements of the company. Then we ask ourselves, why financial management? To answer this as well, you need to also make sense of statistics. Now, there was a study by Cayman Reshma which posited that the most obvious risk of not keeping proper record is that the business concern will lose control over its most valuable asset. The question is, what is that most valuable asset? Information. Remember that when you keep track of your operations, what you are doing is that you are giving out a financial information. And that financial information is quite important to make informed business decisions. Now, and we've also seen, according to statistics by Business Day reports, that the most significant impediment to MSME growth in Africa generally is not just the lack of capital, but the lack of skills that is necessary to manage the firm successfully and scale. And what is responsible for that? This has also led to about 80% of micro business failure in Africa. So it's important to take issues around financial management very seriously as a freelancer. You then ask yourself, what then is financial management? What then is business accounting? These are some of the questions that this session will avail you the opportunity to understand what they mean. Thank you very much.